What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Now in this video, I'm going to be going over my watch list for the trading week of April 18th, 2022, with a special focus on some of the tickers within the Dow, like Apple, Boeing, Disney, Home Depot, and Microsoft. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the companies reporting earnings this week. Alright, so you can see quite a few companies are reporting this week, including a lot of banks, some consumer staples, some energy plays, and some airlines. But I'll be keeping my focus on Netflix and Tesla. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the catalysts for this upcoming week. Alright, so this week we have Tesla's earnings, Netflix earnings, and of course the drama that's going on with Twitter. I'm really not interested in watching this one too closely, but if it does decide it wants to sell off, I will be hopping on that train to take advantage of that. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and start our watch list. All right. First up is going to be Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Now here I have it pulled up on the 4-hour chart. So that means that every candle you see here represents 4 hours of price action. Now the overall chart is the 1-year chart. So this is from April to April. So where we are right now. All right. So what I wanted to show you is this support level right here was prior resistance back in July of 2021. It hung out down here for quite a while and broke through in November of 2021. It hit its all-time high. When is this? Around January of 2022 of around $183.50. It didn't hold it very long, came all the way down, retested this support level back in February of 2022, came down and tested it again in March of 22 and went on a nice run all the way up until $179. It got rejected around this level 2 times and came all the way down to where we are right now, around $165. So let's zoom in right here and let's take a look at the levels that I have drawn out for next week. All right, so if Apple cannot hold 165.50, I'm looking for it to first test around $164. If it can't hold that, then I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to around $162.50 or so. If it can't hold that, drop down to $159.75. If it can't hold that one, then it's going to come all the way down to $153.25 or so. All right, so that's the bearish scenario. If Apple stays above $165.50 at open tomorrow, and the market is bullish, I'm looking for it to come up and test around $172 next week. Okay, if it blows through that, then the next level is $175, and then if it blows through that, the next level is around $179.50. All right, so keep Apple on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is going to be Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. Now here I have Netflix pulled up on the daily chart. Now Netflix has earnings after hours on Tuesday, and it could provide a nice money-making opportunity to the upside or to the downside. We all remember what happened last time Netflix had earnings. It went from around $507 down to around $395, over $100 drop in the price of the stock. Now, a lot of money was made and a lot of money was lost here, and I'm looking for the same kind of action. I'm hoping for the same kind of action this time around. Now, if Netflix has bad earnings or bad guidance and the market decides it wants to sell it off and it can't hold this $334 level, I'm looking for it to drop down to $291. If it can't hold that, I'm looking for it to drop all the way down to around $250. That'll be crazy if this thing drops $90 to $100 again, but I will be there if it decides it wants to do that. Now, if Netflix has good earnings and good guidance and the market likes what it says, I'm looking for Netflix to squeeze a lot of shorts and get all the way up to $395 pretty easily. And if it can push through that, I'm looking for it to test the bottom of this gap fill around $412.75. Okay, so keep Netflix on your watch list, and I definitely will be watching it myself, and let's see what happens. All right, up next is going to be Boeing, ticker symbol BA. Now here I have it pulled up on the 4-hour chart, and once again, this entire visible area is going to be 1 year worth of price action. So that's from April to April. And for context, this gray area is a gap that needs to be filled. It did dip down into this area, but it did not completely fill the gap, so that's why I still have it on my chart. All right, so as you can see here, that Boeing has been trading in this downward channel since May of last year. It gets to the top, and it keeps bouncing off the bottom at the top of this channel. So let's zoom in right here and take a look at the levels that I'm looking up for this upcoming week. All right, so right now, knowing that Boeing moves an average of around $7 a day for the past month or so, these are the levels. If Boeing cannot get above $182.50, I'm looking for it to come back down and test around $172 next week, okay? Now, if Boeing does go above $182.50, the first level that I'm looking for it to come test is around $193.50. If it can blow through that, the next level will be $203.80, and the next level above that is $210. Now, as you can see, that it takes quite a few days for Boeing to maneuver its way from the bottom to the top of this channel. But if you can catch Boeing on one of its $7 to the up or to the downside moves, you can make some nice money with this stock, okay? So keep Boeing on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is Disney, ticker symbol DIS. Now here I have Disney pulled up on the 4-hour chart, and let's zoom in a little bit on this. And this highlighted area right here is just prior bounce points from earlier this year. Right here is January 25th or so. Right here is March 15th. And as you can see, for the last few days or the last few weeks or so, it's been chopping around trying to hold above $130. Now let's look at the bullish scenario first. Now, if the market is bullish and Disney can get above $131, the first level that I'll be looking for it to test is around $133.15. If it can get through this one with enough momentum, the next level that I'll be looking at is around $135.75. If Disney can get through that one, then I'm looking for $142 and around 75 cents or so. All right, so that's the bullish scenario. Now, if the market continues to sell off and Disney cannot hold this $130 level that it's been doing a good job doing so far, I'm looking for it to come down and test around $129. If it can't hold that one, then the next level that I'll be looking at is around $127.50. Now, if things just go south and continue to sell off, if I zoom out on the daily chart here, the next level that I'll be looking at is around $115.75. You can see that Disney did bounce off this level, and it was a prior resistance level and a support level in the past, okay? So if it can't hold $127.50, it'll be a nice $12 drop all the way down to around $115. So keep Disney on your watch list and let's see what happens. All right, up next is Home Depot, ticker symbol HD. Now here I have it pulled up on a 4-hour chart, and if you take a look at this chart here, going back to what is this, June of 2021, this level right here of $294 has been a nice bounce point for this stock. So let's go ahead and put some bounces on this. Let's go ahead and put some bounces on this thing. Put one here, one there, and one here, so we can just keep those things in mind for the future. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in on this one and take a look at some of the levels that I'll be watching. Now, like I mentioned, this $294 level is kind of significant when it comes to this stock. And the market, if the market is bearish, I'm looking for it to come down and test this $294 level. And right now it's sitting at around $304. So if it did get all the way down to here, that'll be a $10 drop, and that'll be a nice payday for some put options, okay? And that's the bearish scenario. If it drops below this, then I'll have to reassess and find out where it's going to go to from there. But for right now, the only level that I'll be watching for Home Depot to the downside is going to be $294. Now, the bullish scenario, if Home Depot can get above $207 right here, because I'm still looking at this as a resistance level. If it can get above this one, then the next level that I'll be looking for it is $10 up to around $317. That'll be a nice call payday right there. If it can get above 317, the next level that I'll be looking at is around $329.50. Okay, so keep these levels in mind for this upcoming week and let's see what happens. All right, and the last one we're going to be looking at is Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. Now here I have it pulled up on the 4-hour chart here, and the significant level that I'm watching on this one is around $269, okay? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 times on this very ugly chart that Microsoft has bounced off this level, okay? So this will be a nice support level that I'll be watching for this one. So in a bearish scenario, if Microsoft right now is sitting around $279, if it drops below $278.75, I'm looking for it to come down and test this support level this upcoming week, okay? So that'll be the bearish scenario. If it can't hold $278.75, I'm looking for it to come down and test this $269 level, because it's bounced 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the past, okay? If it gets below that, there's a nice consolidation area right here. You can see that it probably will try to bounce around 263.75 or so. But for right now, the only level that I'll be watching to the downside is 269, okay? Now the bullish scenario, if Microsoft can stay above this 278.75, if it bounces right here, I'm looking for it to test around 283. If it can get through 283, then I'm looking for it to come up and test around $293 or so. There's a small gap that it needs to fill, and most likely I'll get rejected right here, but we'll see what happens, all right? So overall, keep Microsoft on your watch list and let's see what happens. And that is the end of the video. If you found value, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Also, if you're a day trader, you may want to follow me on Twitter @BlazeStocks, because in the mornings, sometimes I do post the QQQ and the SPY levels that I'll be watching for that day, and they may be beneficial to you, okay? And with that, here's wishing you a prosperous week of trading. And until next week, talk to you later.